Hello dear students, I am a chemistry lecturer from Narayana Group. Today we are going to discuss the grand test chemistry part. Let us start with question number 26. In this question, two columns are given, we need to match these two. In option P, methane is given CH4. It is given the weight ratio of carbon and hydrogen as 3:1. Now, if you calculate the theoretical weight ratio of carbon and hydrogen, that is 1 mole carbon is 12 grams, 4 moles of hydrogen is 4 gram, that is again 3:1. What is this law? This law supports the law of definite proportion, which says that in a compound the weight ratio of two elements is always constant. So, option Q. In option Q, there are two compounds of sulfur with oxygen are given. One is sulfur react with O2 to give SO2, sulfur react with O2 to give SO3. So, in this how much O2 is used? So, it is 3/2 moles of O2 is used. Now, if you take the fixed mass of sulfur, that is 32 grams 1 mole, weight of O2 used in these two reactions is, in first reaction it is 1 mole O2, that is 32 grams, here 3/2 moles O2, that is 48 grams. So, now the weight ratio of O2 in these two is how much? 2/3. So, this formation of SO2 SO3 follows which law now? As the fixed mass of sulfur is reacting with O2, the proportion of O2 by weight is 2:3. So, which is a simple whole number ratio. So, this supports law of the multiple proportion. When two compounds are formed, the weight of O2 in this case consumed will bear a simple whole number ratio. Now, if you take the third option, in these two products are given, that is formation of H2S and formation of SO2. So, if you take here how much H2 is used? 2 grams with 1 mole, that is 32 grams. How much O2 is used here? 32 grams with 32 grams. Now, if H2 and O2 are reacted, H2 and O2 are reacted to give water, that is given in the question. What is the weight of H2 is used? 2 grams. What of weight of O2 is used? Half mole means it is 16 grams. So, now the weight ratio of H2 and O2 is how much here? 1:16. 1:8. Here weight ratio of H2 and O2 is how much? H2 and O2 weight ratio is 1:16. So, now if we take these two weight ratio of H2 and O2, we will get a simple whole number ratio, that is 1:2. Hence, which law is obeyed here? Here it follows the law of reciprocal proportions. So, now if we take the option S, here magnesium carbonate is thermally decomposed to give MgO plus CO2. So, magnesium carbonate here 1 mole gives 1 mole magnesium oxide, 1 mole CO2. What is the weight of magnesium carbonate given? That is 4.2 grams. This comes out to be 0.05 mole. So, according to equation we should get 0.05 mole of magnesium oxide, 0.05 mole of CO2. So, if you calculate weights, this is 4.2 grams, this is 2.0 gram, this molar weight of CO2 is how much? 44. So we'll get it as the 2.2 grams. So the weight of residue is magnesium oxide, that is 2.0 grams is given in the question. So if you see the weight of reactants, that is magnesium carbonate 4.2 grams, and the weight of products is also 4.2 grams. So this reaction supports the law of conservation of mass. Hence if we match the column 1 and 2, what do we get? Option A. So A is the answer. So now let us move to the next question. Question number 27. What is question number 27? In this two complexes are given. It is asked which is not the similar property of these two complexes. What are the complexes given? In the question number 27, we have two complexes. One is NiCl4 2 minus, second one is NiCN4 2 minus. So what are the options given? First one is oxidation state of central atom, oxidation state. So on calculation you will get the oxidation state of nickel is +2 here, here also +2. So both have the +2 oxidation state. Now second option is magnetic moment. So if we calculate spin only magnetic moment, in this we know that nickel is +2, hence the configuration is D8. So in the complexes with coordination number 4, two hybridations are possible. One is sp3, other is dsp2. So here we know that chloride Cl minus is a weak field ligand. Hence there is no pairing of electrons. So we have 8 electrons in d subshell. If there is no pairing of the electron, there is no vacant orbital to undergo dsp2 hybridization. Now it will undergo the sp3 hybridization, and there are two unpaired electrons. So magnetic moment becomes what? Magnetic moment is square root of n into n plus 2 Bohr magneton. So n is 2 here, you will get root 8 Bohr magneton. Whereas if you take the second complex, here also it is a D8 configuration, nickel +2. Cn minus is a strong field ligand. What happens in that case? In that case there is pairing of electron in the d subshell. So in such case there will be 4 paired electrons, there is no unpaired electron here. Hence it can use this vacant orbital to the hybridization. So it will be dsp2 hybridized, and magnetic moment will be how much? 0, because n is 0 here. If you take third option, in third option coordination number is used, asked. What is coordination number here? Both are monodentate ligands, so coordination number is 4. Both have coordination number 4. So next it is asked, both the complexes are showing the isomerism. Is it correct? No, it is wrong, because NiCl4 2 minus cannot show the isomerism, whereas this complex can show the isomerism. Which type of isomerism? So we know that Cn is an ambidextrous ligand, it can coordinate through carbon as well as it can coordinate through nitrogen. Hence it can show the linkage isomerism. So what are the properties which are not similar here? One is magnetic moment, so root 8 and 0. One is not showing isomerism, other is showing isomerism. So either B or D can be the correct answer for this question. Now let us move to the next question. Next question is question number 28. In this question, there are some compounds are given. It is asked to calculate the oxidation state of the underlined atoms. Now how to calculate? So by drawing the structure, we can assign the oxidation state to the underlined atom. So first compound given is H2SO8. here we need to calculate the oxidation state of sulfur. What is structure of H2SO8? S double bond O, double bond O, O, S double bond O, double bond O, OH. So, peroxydisulfuric acid. So, due to a polar covalent bond, the oxidation state of one atom will be either +1 or -1 depending on the electronegativity. Here in this case, oxygen acquires a -2 oxidation state, here -2, the charge in this group is -1, here this is also -1, this is a non-polar bond due to which there is no charge created on this atom, no polarity created. Hence, the around sulfur, what is the charge? It is -6. Hence, this sulfur should be +6. Similarly, here also it is +6. So, the average oxidation state of this sulfur in the compound will be +6. Similarly, the other compound is H2SO5. What is the name? It is also called as what? Peroxomonosulfuric acid. S double bond O, double bond O, OH, O, OH. Again, if we assign the charges, this is -1, -1, -2, -2. The net charge around sulfur is -6. Hence, it should be +6. The another compound is given is HNO4 per nitric acid. Its structure is N double bond O, O, OH. Here in this oxygen is -2, -2, -1. So, around nitrogen -5 charge is there. So, nitrogen should be +5. The last compound is chromium pentoxide, that is CrO5. So, what is structure here? CrO5 has the 2 peroxy linkages. So, this is the structure of CrO5, butterfly structure. So, in this case, this is -1, -1, -1, -1, -2. Around chromium there is -6 charge. So, chromium should be +6. Hence, the option A matches with these oxidation states. A is correct answer. Question number 29. In this question, the ion with largest size is asked. What are the ions given? Si+4, Na+, N3-, O2-. So, we know that these are isoelectronic species having the 10 electrons. We can count the electrons. The number of protons in this case is 14, here it is 11, 7, 8. So, in the isoelectronic species, how to compare the size? The size can be compared based on the number of protons. If the number of protons are less, the Z effective on valence shell will be less compared to the number of protons more. If the effective nuclear charge on valence shell is less, it will have the more size. Hence, N3- has the largest size. So, the Si+4 has the smallest size. So, now in the question it is asked which is having the largest size. Hence, C will be the correct answer for this question. Now, next we will move to the next question. Next question is question number 30. There are two liquids with vapor pressures Pa0 400 millimeters, other is 300 millimeters. So, vapor pressure of a solution having the equimoles of A and B. If the moles of A and B are same, mole fraction of A is 1/2, mole fraction of B is also 1/2. Now, the vapor pressure of solution is according to Raoult's law, it is Pa0 XA plus PB0 XB. On substituting this, Pa0 is half, XA is 400, PB naught is 300, XB is half. So we'll get the vapor pressure of the solution is 350 millimeters of mercury. So here in the question also the total vapor pressure is given as the how much? 350 millimeters of mercury. The experimental vapor pressure is 350, calculated is also 350. Hence it is following the Raoult's law. If any solution follows the Raoult's law, we say that it is an ideal solution. Hence in the D option it is given, it is following the Raoult's law. So D is the correct option. Now let us move to the next question. Next question is question number 31. In this question there are some compounds are given. It is asked which is most basic compound having the formula C4H7N. So first we should see which of the four options have this formula. So the D option has the formula C4H9N. So it cannot be the answer. So the other options are, in option A the structure is NH2, in option B the structure is NH2, in option C the structure is NH2. So these three have the formula C4H7N. Here we need to identify which of these four is most basic. So in this three, this is C triple bond C is a minus I group or electron withdrawing group. If electron withdrawing group is closer to the NH2, the electron density on nitrogen will be less. Here it is away from the NH2, the electron density on NH2 is more compared to these three. So this is the most basic compound. So A is the correct answer. Now let us move to the next question. Question number 32. In this question the final product is asked. There is a sequence of reaction. This ketone is first reacted with lithium aluminum hydride, then water is added in second step. What is the product? Here lithium aluminum hydride is a reducing agent, converts aldehyde and ketones to the corresponding alcohols, where in this case the double bond is unaffected. So we will get the product OH. So lithium aluminum hydride in this case is reducing ketone to the alcohol. This is product P. Now this is further reacted with SOCl2. What is the function of SOCl2? So to convert alcohols into alkyl chlorides, we use either PCl3, PCl5 or SOCl2. So when we use SOCl2, this alcohol is converted to the chloro derivative. So next, third step, it is reacted with magnesium ether. So when an alkyl chloride is reacted with magnesium in ether solvent, it is converted to Grignard reagent MgCl. What is next step given? Then it is reacted with dry ice. Dry ice is solid CO2, carbon dioxide gas. Here a Grignard reagent shows a addition reaction on the CO2. So we will get C double bond O minus, a magnesium salt is formed in which the aqueous ammonium chloride is added. So the function of aqueous ammonium chloride, it is an acidic solution. This will acidify the carboxylate salt, giving carboxylic acid COH. So this structure is given in option C. So C is correct answer. Next we will move to the next question. Next question is question number 33. What is this question? In this question, product X is asked to identify. Here the cyclic ether is given. The structure of cyclic ether is given and it is reacted with HI, excess. The ether cleavage of HI which is used excess in this reaction. Here with HI there are two reaction paths are possible. One is SN1 reaction, second one is SN2 reaction. SN1 is possible when tertiary is there, but in this case only primary carbons are there. So this is primary carbon, this is secondary carbon. So here only SN2 path is possible. So SN2 reaction is possible in this case. So what happens in first step? The ether get protonated and forms the intermediate on which I minus attacks. So we have I minus as a nucleophile. In SN2, primary is more reactive than secondary. So I minus react on the primary carbon, forming the product having both I and OH. So now here if we use only 1 mole of HI, this is the product, but in this case excess is used, again HI reacts, protonates this OH group, so we will get this intermediate OH2 plus and I minus will show the SN2 reaction, this water is removed, so we will get the diiodo derivative. Okay. So this is the product, final product X in this reaction, so which is given in option C. So C is correct answer for this question.